Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This time we're gonna make a pleated skirt, and well, as you know, the fabric is what makes a pleated skirt. This one will start a little bit different than normally because I'm not gonna have an inspiration and then making that out of a fabric, but now I use my fabric as my inspiration. And in my former video I tried to show you what fabric I had now, but it's the color didn't look good on a camera, and I still see that it's not the way it looks. I tried several different linings, I tried my softbox, I tried my ring light, but still it doesn't look what it is. It is gold, and maybe if I lift it a bit you can see it is gold. But the funny thing, as I took it out today to start this video, is that I saw that the other side is silver, and when I fold it like this then you see the difference, and then you can better see the gold. You see that? This side is gold, this side is silver. So that made my idea totally different what I wanted to make. Because now I decided to make two skirts out of this because I have enough fabric, and I want to make now one gold one and one silver one. And the gold one will be pretty simple. I'll just make a midi skirt for me that is 80 centimeters in length, and I have the luck that I can use just the width of my fabric, and it's only 1 meter 10 centimeters, so that's not a lot. Normally you have 150, but for me it is enough to make a skirt and get elastic in the waist, so it's enough for my hip width. But if you're a bit bigger than I am, then you must need 2 times your length, and you take your length 80 centimeters or how much as you like, and you make a front and a back part. I make just now one part 110 in width, and that's my front and my back together. So I'm gonna cut that out, and then it's just simple. This will be the bottom, but I'll show you now as if this is the front. We just fold the top in with a centimeter hem, and make a casing for the elastic, put the elastic in, and then you have a really nice, very simple pleated skirt. And that will be skirt number 1. And then we have left about, I didn't measure, but I think this is 150, so I have 70 centimeters, I think, around 70 centimeters left. And with this silver one I want to make a draped skirt, and when I'm gonna make that I just drape it around me and see what I can make out of it, what I can do, and I'll show you then what it will be. It will be certainly a mini skirt because I don't have enough to drape to make it longer than that, but that's totally fine because I don't want two skirts in the same length of the same material, just another color. I think that's not really nice. So first I'm gonna make the midi skirts, and then we're gonna start with the silver skirt. So what I do now, I'll cut my length, and as I said, for me one width of my fabric is enough for the whole skirt for me, so I just take one piece at 80 centimeters length for me. Now that we've sewn the side seam and finished the top and the bottom, we're going to make the casing for the elastic. And I always just lay the elastic on and then fold the double and then pin just close to the elastic. And when I sew, I take the elastic out because otherwise I have to risk that I sew the elastic to the skirt, and that will be a problem. So it's just for making the casing just the right size, because how neater it is, how tighter it is, how nicer it will gather in with the elastic. So do this all the way around and then sew this in, and then the only thing you have to do is make the hem just the way you like it. You can just fold it in twice a centimeter, or also just 1 centimeter, because you already finished it. Just look what you want to do. I'm not sure yet. I'm gonna see what I want to do, and then I'll show you when I sew it like that. When you have stretch fabric, use a stretch needle, jersey needle, and make the settings on your sewing machine suitable for stretchy fabric, and use a stretch stitch or a zigzag stitch. Make sure you do that, otherwise your thread will break and then you have a problem. And then put the safety pin on the end of your elastic and take it through your casing. And when you've done that, try it on, measure how tight you want your elastic to be, and sew the ends together and close up this opening here in the casing seam. I decided to do just a normal hem. I already finished it with my serger, or you can also do that with a zigzag stitch. I'm just gonna sew 1 centimeter in, and I'm gonna sew it closed. So I did some draping with my silver part of the fabric, and then what I do is I just take the fabric and wrap it around me, or wrap it around my mannequin, and just to see what it does, what the fabric does, and when it looks nice. And what I did, I don't want to take this off because I want to secure it immediately, but I'll show you on another piece of fabric what it is. But I made some pleats here, and I ruffled in this part, and then I'm going to sew them together in a seam. And as you see on the stripes of the fabric, the pleats, here are the pleats like this, and on this side the pleats are like this. So I was looking for some striped fabric to show you what I did, so that I don't have to take this off. And I had to look very far because I'm not really the stripy person, but I found some striped fabric. And what I had was the rectangle. It was the rectangle of the width of the fabric, 110. And what I had left in the length, and it was 70 centimeters, I think. So maybe the problem will be that you are not my size and your fabric is not my size. So I don't know if you can do it with your fabric, but when you get the idea, you can just try with your own fabric what you can do with it, and how you can recreate it, or maybe find something else that you like. So what I did is I made on one side of the fabric, say this is the length, I made some pleats, and I always pleat up because then you get the nicest effect. When you pleat down, you normally hardly see the pleats. So I made 3 pleats because I have more length than here, but for the idea I just do 2 now. It's just the idea of what I did. So you make pleats in the length, and then you take your bottom and you take that up, and you see then the length stripes get horizontal stripes. And what I did, I just gathered this, and in the trying I just did it by hand just to see how it looks. I just gathered it, and of course when you do the real one, you just make a basting stitch and you take it together. I gather this up and I pin them together. And you see in this fabric it gets way different than in mine. But this is the idea, and that's because the sizes are of course different, because this was exactly my waist in the original, and now I have here a lot of fabric left. But the idea is the same. Just gather it on this side and then sew it down as far as you like. You can maybe go to the end. I think with the silver fabric I will leave a slit here or something. And the only thing is you have to sew this down, because otherwise this will not stay gathered. So when I've done this and it's secured, I think then I will make a zipper in the back, and also make a bit of elastic or something in the seam of the top part of the skirt, because otherwise it will be very loose and I cannot do a waistband or something. So I think when I'm hemming the top, I will also sew an elastic band underneath. But this is the sort of thing that I did with the elastic. I pleated away a bit more than this, but this looks really strange because the sizing is not right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm very carefully take it a bit out and secure where I can as soon as I can, because otherwise I will lose how this folded. And I'll show you when I'm sewing what I'm doing, and then maybe you get the idea what I was really looking for. So in the left part of my skirt I made 3 pleats from the top down, 2.5 centimeters wide and 3 centimeters from each other apart. So I'm gonna search now this whole side and then immediately secure my pleats down. So I took all the pins out to sew the pleats and the gathers, and I made the pleats here on the left side, and I sewed them down with the serger. And then I noticed that the other side was not what I told you with that piece of fabric, because I was already surprised that it was exactly my waist size. And well, it wasn't, because I just adjusted it to my waist size. So what I did, I gathered the whole other side seam and a part of the top and a part of the bottom, so it made a bit of a curve. And then when you gather that together, then you get that it goes from here to a horizontal line, because you go all the way down to the bottom. And then you start with a bit of the vertical line and you end with the horizontal line. So you gather a whole lot, so the whole other side seam plus a part of the top and a part of the bottom. And I don't know if you can do it also just matching your waistline and then start gathering from there. So when I match this side to this side, then I have exactly my waist. So that's what I did. So maybe you can do it like that. I don't know if it's possible. It's depending on your fabric and your waist size, of course. But that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a basting stitch all the way around from the beginning to the end. Then gather it and sew that on to the other seam. And I measured that I want around, well, 20 centimeters, a bit much. I think I had 12 centimeters before, it's a bit less. So I think around 15, 16 centimeters. I'm going to make the gatherings. And then sew it further down for as long as you like. You can have a slit or whatever you like in the front. So that's what we're going to do now. So I sewed my gatherings together with the pleated seam. And I tried it on and I pinned in 3 places, I think, yes. I pinned down these gathers because it's really much of a flowing along the hip, and it's nicest when you secure it a little bit on some places that this really falls nicely. Otherwise it goes all over each other and then it won't be that nice. They do this also very often in bridal gowns with lots of gatherings and pleats, and then your pleats and your gathers will stay in the right place, and when you sit down or when you move it, they won't go to a strange place or get a strange curve or something. So I have 3 pins in here, but I can do with a little tiny stitch, hand sew it down so that this pleat stays like this. What I also did is I took some small elastic. It's just 0.5 centimeter, I think, and I'm gonna sew that in on the top hem. So I'm not making a waistband or whatever, just take my elastic, sew that on with a zigzag stitch, and then fold it in and sew it down. And it's very easily finished on the top, and I had enough fabric to pull it over my hip, so I don't have to make a zipper or whatever, because this is wide enough, but it's too wide then for my waist, so that's why I put in the elastic on the top. I also took look where I want my split to end, so I sewed it down till here, so I made my split, I want my split to be here, so this I'm gonna sew down too. And then I roughly pinned on my hem to see how it must be, because it's a strange hem now, but it was so rather even how I have to hem this, so I'm gonna cut this piece off and just give this a nice hem. I think I'll do a blind hem, or maybe by hand, because I don't think it's nice when you see stitching here. So I think I'll do a blind hem or something like that, or just a little small rolled hem. I'll show you when I'm sewing it. And then my silver skirt is finished, and I think it looks really nice. You'll see it at the end result, how it came out. And it's always nice to drape by hand and just see what the fabric wants, how the fabric flows, what you can make out of it. Sometimes it's really nice, sometimes you think, this is not gonna work, and then you have to think of something else. But this was a really nice fabric, and I really like it because the pleats are going this way and that way, and that's really a funny thing to see. And in the back they go together in the same direction, and it's really nice. And I'm glad that I have a golden and a silver skirt of the same fabric, so also that's a nice thing. So I'm gonna complete this, and then I'll be back with the final result. I was busy hemming my skirt, and for this one I decided to use my blind hem foot, and I haven't used it for quite some time, so I have to try how it works. Well, not try, but try again how it works, because I usually only used it when I made woolen coats or something like that. But I thought, well, I don't like to see a hem on this fabric, so I'll try the blind hem foot. And I really liked it. I had to stop because my bobbin was out, so I have to start quite a bit again. And I thought, well, I show you how that works, because it's really nice when you have this foot on your machine, or maybe just buy that foot. And what you do is you just pin your normal hem, but with the pins going diagonal, so that you don't mind them, you can keep them in. And then what you do is you fold in, well, I'll show you, that's easier to tell, to see. You fold over the rest of the fabric so that your hem is sticking out a bit. And now with this silver, it's very good to see. And then what you do is you align. I have to see where my hem stopped. So here. Now you align the fold of the top fabric, so this fold, with the left part of the foot. And there is a slit in the middle of the foot, and the left side of that slit you must align exactly with this fold. And then you have to make a trial first, because you must make sure that with the stitch, it's also a special stitch on your machine with straight stitch and then going out, and a straight stitch going out, that the out part takes just one little thread of this upper part fabric. So you really have to try out that it goes well. I had to adjust it 3 times to have the right sizing. And then look very carefully that that side of your foot stays to the fold, because when you go too far to the right, then you have a stitch in your fabric. When you go too far to the left, then it goes loose and you don't attach the two. So that's what the blind hem foot does, and it's a really, really nice stitch also for this strange fabric. So I'm going to continue now, and I'll show you. I hope that you can see. Well, there's not much to see, but you can see how I do it when you make this hem. And this is one of the skirts. It was really funny that I found out that I had two colors to work with, so two skirts, because I had enough fabric. And this is the golden one, and I think it's really nice pleat. It feels very nice, and I just made it very simple, just with an elasticated waistband. I could have made some pockets in, but I thought about later, so I think I'm gonna do that later on. I don't have seams for that, but I'll just make them, because it's always nice to have pockets in your skirts. So I think I'm gonna do that later on. But this one is the golden one, and I really like it. You saw you can really make it in maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes certainly. And it's a really nice versatile skirt that you can wear with everything, and it's always looking nice and good. I like this length very much. I know not everyone likes midi skirts, but I really like this very nice length for all occasions, and I think it looks very polished and very classy always, and you can wear it with heels, but of course also just with flats or whatever. And yes, I like this one very much, so I'll turn into the other silver skirt. And then a totally different one of the same fabric but the other side. And I really like draping things, because you can really get nice funny ways how the fabric falls, and I like this one very much. It looks very funny and nice. I stitched down a little bit of these pleats so that it stays a little bit like I want it, because otherwise I'm constantly adjusting no, what is it called? No, these things, I don't know the word now. So I did 3 stitches here in the pleats, okay, that was the word, to have it a little bit in place so that it stays always good when I sit down and when I stand up, that I don't have to readjust it. And I put some elastic in the waist to make sure that it stays up, because this has a little bit of a V curve here now, and then it fits more securely like this. And well, I like this one also very much. It looks really nice, and I like the silver. I don't really like silver, but I like this silver color very much. I made a little bit of a slit, so it's totally different from the other one. It's really nice and classy. This is more a bit up, but I like it, and it looks very nice. It sits very comfortably, so you can wear this really for a party or whatever. But if you are a person like it, you can also do grocery shopping in this, as I usually will do. But now, of this one I'm not sure, it's a bit too much I think. But I really like how it turned out. I really like the gatherings here, the drapes, and I think it looks really nice and different. And well, I'm very happy with it. And also I showed you how to do the, oh, I'm really out of the words now, the blind hem stitching. And I've done it very much before with woolen fabrics, but with this fabric it turned out also very nice. I saw I have to steam this a little bit more here in the corner, because it's not really flat now. But it's a very easy way to make a hem that you don't want to see the stitching from, but you don't want to do it by hand. And you know, I don't like hand stitching, so the blind hem is very good. If you have the foot with your sewing machine and the stitch, then certainly use it, because it's not difficult. You just have to watch very good. So that was my biggest problem, because my eyesight is not that good. You really have to go straight close to the edge to get a nice blind stitch, but it works very well, and I really like it. So I think I'm gonna use that more often now, because it's a very nice way of making a hem. Okay, this was the silver one, and I think this was a really nice tutorial, and I have 2 skirts more in my closet to hang. And well, I like it very much, so I'm very happy that I had to do this tutorial. I'm going to show you the fabric for the next tutorial, and there's not much to see. It is an off-white fabric, and I have tons of it. I don't know if you can see it. I don't fold it out because it's really meters and meters. I don't remember how much I bought, but it's an Telenka. It's a polyester blend. It has a little bit of a give, not really a stretch, but a little bit of a give, and it's very soft. And I'm gonna make a dress out of it. And then maybe you think, why do you need meters and meters for a dress? Do you do a circle skirt or so? I don't do that. The dress is rather plain and simple and rather tight fitting, but I'm gonna do some embellishments, and I really need some fabric for that. I hope it will work out. I haven't done it before. I made some really nice ball gowns and gala dresses and things with all kinds of stuff around it. This is a totally different thing that I saw the dress somewhere, and I saved the picture, and I'm going to try to recreate it. I hope it will work out. If not, then I'll make another dress out of it. But I have lots of fabric to work with, so I'm going to try and see what I can do. And it will take some time, so maybe it will not be the next video, but the one after that I do in between, a smaller video, because I'm not sure if I can make this in 1 week. But I'm going to start now, and I'll see, and otherwise you get another video next week for in between. So, white fabric for dress, next dress. So be curious what it will be. Well, thank you so much for watching again. I'll see you next week, and please subscribe. Please tell everyone that you like my videos so that we can grow a bit. And if you have any questions, any comments, any things you'd like me to make, I think I will make also a jumpsuit. You know, I'm not really of the pants, but I think I cannot skip a jumpsuit because they are so on trend and they stay on trend. So I think I will make a jumpsuit in some videos coming. Let me know what you want me to make, and I'm a bit more, then I know a bit more what you like me to make. Otherwise I just make what I like myself, but I think it's nice when then you can give me some suggestions what you would like me to make, and then I'll do that. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you again next week. Bye!